Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining the Giggle and Grow podcast with us.
A podcast with two best friends where honesty meets authenticity, breaking down life's challenges one laugh at a time.
So thank you for tuning in. Sit back, take a deep breath, and let's grow together.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Giggle and Grow. We needed to take a little break as we were rebranding. As you can see on our Instagram page, we are so excited to have everyone back for this new Giggle and Grow season.
Yay! It's been a long time coming, but it feels good.
It does feel good.
But guys, today on this episode is all going to be about the Giggle and Grow rebrand. With a twist of time management, we do want to come on here and just talk a little bit about what this time has looked like for us, while also being able to kind of manage that stress that goes along with that. Life is busy. It's after the holidays. We're kind of getting back in routine here. And with routine just means checking out the X's and Y's that we want to feel good for us. So,
yeah. And also, before we dive in, we want to quickly address something. Since we started our podcast about a year ago, we've noticed that two other podcasts have come out and kind of chosen a similar name as us. We have Giggle and Growth and then Giggle and Growths. So we want to acknowledge that this is obviously going to happen when you're doing well in life and you are on to something big. So we're taking it as a compliment. We're not going to let this discourage us. We're not going to change our name as part of our rebrand. We're keeping our name, and we're going to try to keep bringing you guys authenticity and like just original stuff from us. So yeah, I think that we just wanted to address that. If you've seen those podcasts, we're different than them. We are not affiliated with them, but we wish them the best. But we're going to continue to do our thing.
The most fun thing about our podcast here is truly just being able to come on and share more so what our lives look like the last, 2 weeks, 1 week, whatever that may be, and really just bring that authentic side to you guys. I think, again, online, we've mentioned this before, but it can often look like so many glimmers, and we don't often see what people are really going through. And so when you do come on to listen to us, you do get a little bit of our lives, but we also hope to be able to help you with yours in whatever you are walking through right now. So we'll kind of turn the page here a little bit into the fun stuff. And Courtney, now that we're talking all about rebranding, how are you feeling?
Ooh, I'm feeling good about our rebrand, honestly. I'm feeling a little less stressed now that we're sitting down and we're doing the podcast, but I feel like it's been exciting. I've been filled with passion. I feel like we're starting completely over, even though we're not. This is not a new podcast. We've been doing this for about a year now, but there's a lot of good things. We needed to take some time off because we really wanted this rebrand to be something that was special, and we work real jobs. So it's very tough. And for all of those small creators out there, I commend you for working a full-time job and creating, because it's not easy. And Morgan, also, you have your business. I have a full-time job that I have to do. You also have a full-time job. So there's a lot of other things. I'm planning a wedding. So we appreciate your patience, and we thank you for just taking the time to either like, subscribe, comment, anything on our posts. We really appreciate that. And I really think that we learned a lot during this process. And I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are and how you feel, Morgan.
Yeah, I definitely think it was needed. I know not necessarily that I needed a break or a huge step back, but I did need to focus a little bit on myself, what I wanted 2025 to look like for me. As of course, like you said, we do have full-time jobs. I am running Most Smiles. We have this podcast here. And as we continue to grow, we want to bring that quality content to you guys. So It is really exciting. It feels so, so good to be sitting back down in this chair and being here with you and being able to talk to our followers again. But with this rebrand, I got to focus more on the back end side, and I got to focus a lot on more of the pictures, the profile picture, more specifically cover photos, what we wanted our socials to look like when coming back to you guys, essentially, ultimately.
I feel like, too, we really learned how to manage. We're really learning how to manage our stress through all of these things. And a lot of what I want this episode to be is us kind of relaying to you guys how we manage our stress. So with that being said, Morgan, what do you think is the biggest thing you do to manage your stress right now?
Oh gosh, to manage everything that's going on in life, I often find myself cleaning often in order to bring myself back. I mean, I'm on my feet 8 hours a day for my job, but I get home and my husband's like, Morgan, just sit down, relax for 5 minutes. I'm like, absolutely not. I gotta keep going. I was like, if I sit down, I'm giving up. And if I just start cleaning, everything will be fine. And honestly, as I reflect back on that in 2024, I do think, cleaning is something I've always leaned on in times of stress, even in college. And even my best friends then were like, Morgan, stop, like just relax. Right. So there's a balance between it. I think sometimes we use that as a comfort, but it is also a way to, of course, manage that stress as we're talking here.
Yeah,
but I do also love going for walks. I am a huge sunshine girl. I am like, if you can go out and get some it's C, right?
I think vitamin C or D.
Yeah, one of the two. But no, if I can open up those windows, get outside, go for a good walk, it always resets me. And I know a lot of people share this online too, just how much walks really benefit. You even talked about it once before where you were getting up in the mornings and kind of, was it more like the senses you were doing?
Yeah, so what I was doing was I would walk outside and I would find something to look at, smell, touch, hear, and it's a really good practice in psychology that we do to ground ourselves in life and just help us be where our feet are. And I think just walking in general can do that.
Absolutely. I've seen this thing going viral recently where people will pick out one color for their walk and then they will find everything that is that specific color for the walk. So like say yellow, you might see some yellow flowers.
Oh, I've seen that.
Or like cool. A yellow house or, those cutie things.
I like that.
It makes you changes your perspective and makes you be in the moment a little more.
Yeah, I love that. I got a walking pad recently because it's, -6 degrees here in Colorado. And I just want to get more steps in daily because it's part of me trying to lose weight. And so what I've been doing is walking and then listening to things that I wouldn't normally listen to, which probably is not, sometimes I listen to politics, sometimes I listen to audiobooks, sometimes I listen to podcasts. So I found that doing those things while I'm on the walking pad has been very helpful. I can't work yet while I'm on a walking pad. It makes me sick. It makes me really woozy. And even when I use the walking pad, sometimes it makes me a little sick. So I have to take it slow and pause and take a breather and slowly start walking off the walking pad. But
I was gonna say, I've seen a lot of people using the walking pad while doing emails and working. I'm like, I don't know if I could manage doing those two things together.
I haven't tried that yet, but if you're out there and you use a walking pad, I'm curious, do you ever get sick at all? Because I found that, one time I jumped off the walking pad and I got really sick after jumping off. And so I'm just kind of cautious with using it because they are dangerous.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I think I would love one though if I was working from home. Yeah. I feel like it's a game changer to get your steps in. The days that I'm not working and I'm at home and it's 5 p.m. and I'm like, shoot, I didn't get outside and, go for my walk. What am I supposed to do now? So, but no, kind of to get back on track here too, guys, one last thing that helps me truly with my stress management. And I'm going to always say this. I hope every episode I'm on here telling you guys this, but daily gratitude. Please get yourself into doing that. It really will change your day, your night, and how you look at things, how you perceive things, the perspective that you have, because it really just allows you to focus on those little things within your day and find those happy moments, those little moments, because sometimes it's not a whole $1,000 vacation that's going to bring you that happiness. It's going to be that little pet that you had or with your cat or that little lunch out with your friend that you haven't seen in 2 months. You just have to realize what you're really doing with your days.
Yeah, those are great. I feel like for me, I'm not the biggest cleaner because I have a huge house, but I do love to clean. I've gotten better at adding those into my routines. I do think that gratitude is something that I've recently started to do because you got me this little gratitude journal, and what I started to do is I started to write 3 I am statements of I am grateful for. And then I shifted into, after those 3 I am grateful for, I will do goal setting for maybe not just the day, but just goal setting for what I want to achieve. And they're all in I statements. I am, I achieved, I succeeded, I did, I will, all of those statements. And what I found is after doing it for almost actually this entire month, I go back and I look and my goals become more pronounced and I understand more what I want. So I definitely agree with gratitude and like morning goal setting, because one of the things that I have found is if you're going to set a goal for yourself, the best time to do it is in the morning, and be consistent about it, because you'll slowly start to see yourself as what you're saying I am. You slowly become that, and it's one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. The second thing I do is what I just did earlier today was I lift weights. I love to lift weights. I used to do it a lot in college, but I got out of it and then I got a personal trainer. She's amazing. And what she did for me was she wrote me a program and I do weight training with her and I do pretty heavy lifting. And I have found that it's very, very difficult. But if I push myself hard enough, I feel this immense sense of relief and relaxation, because all the pressure that I have doing a full-time job, having to go to work, and also having this podcast and planning a wedding, I can feel release. It's almost like lifting helps me lift those issues and put them back down. I don't know how to explain it, but I will say that for me, lifting has been extremely helpful with my stress management. And when I can totally tell days where I don't lift, so I try to do something like getting on my walking pad.
I'm going to pause you right there for a second, Court, because I know for someone like me who feels like they are doing so much, I truly don't feel like I have always the time to work out. And how do you mentally put that first before other things in your life to make sure that you are giving that to you?
I could tell you two answers. I could tell you the answer that every person who's like a gym influencer is going to tell you. Pick a time and do it at the same time every single day and be consistent. And ideally, that's what you want to do. But I've found, and like routine, I really do believe in routine. But I have found that, I really want to be a morning person, but I struggle with that. And so I found that if I just make it a priority when I'm doing my morning goal setting, or just make it a priority for me, like there is no excuse, you will do this, and just say it in my head, no, there's nothing more important than going and working out right now. Because what will happen is you'll say, oh, well, this is more important than working out. Literally, I don't necessarily do it at the same time every day, or probably the same day every week. I don't you know what I mean? But what I do is I do tell myself is, no, you do not have a choice. This is a priority for you, whether you like it or not. It's more important than other things. And there are times when, like yesterday, I couldn't do it. I didn't have time. Things got piled up and I didn't get a chance to do it. But I said, you know what? I will make time for it tomorrow. And so when you tell yourself during the week, there's no other option, this is a priority, you're really shifting your mindset into, I'm going to do this whether I like it or not. And I think that is what I have to do for myself in order to make myself do it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, no worries. But I think a big part of also, being in a good routine and getting a workout in and wanting to work out and wanting to push yourself is going to bed early. That is something that I've recently started to do that I think is very important for me. And even just going to bed before 10 o'clock, even when I don't want to, my next day is so much better. And there are times, I'm not going to tell you I go to bed at 10 o'clock every night because I would be lying to you, but there are times where I don't go to bed at 10 and then it's so difficult for me to get up at the time that I need to be up and out of bed. So again, routine is what I'm preaching, and I'm working on practicing that myself. And so I think going to bed on time is probably the most important, because then it makes you want to get up and work out. It makes you want to get up. You feel good the next day. You don't feel exhausted. So trying to put parameters in, okay, it's 9:30, I want to go to bed, or it's 9:30, I really want to watch this Netflix show. Give yourself those little moments to say, all right, you can watch this Netflix show, but after the show, we're going to bed. So being disciplined and setting those discipline and setting those expectations in the morning when you're writing your gratitude, and then making sure you keep that mindset. And if you don't do it, don't beat yourself up. Just pick yourself up, keep going. Because what I found is when I stopped beating myself up over not doing something is the second that I am able to do something the next day.
Absolutely. And I love that you're focusing more on that nighttime routine, because I do think that is extremely important. Back when I was in college, I thought it was achieving if I got 5-6 hours of sleep, because I knew that I was in the library studying, or I was getting X, Y, and Z done, and I was on top of everything. But in reality, it was only diminishing me and my full potential and what I could actually be and do each day. And as soon, I mean, truly in the last 2 years, it's been my biggest focus. And usually I am going into my bed around 9:30. Not that I'm falling asleep at that point, but I am in bed by 9:30 at the latest, and it has changed the game for me. Now, I haven't quite figured out how to stop that snooze button yet, but it has definitely helped me in terms of waking up in the morning.
I love that. I feel like, sorry, go ahead.
No, okay. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, one of the things that I'm working on going into February, I know I just told you about the things that I do to stress manage, but some of the things I do want to do and want to achieve is getting up early. And I think that is something I've always told myself. I just want to be one of those morning people. And I think by going to bed early, I can get up early. And sometimes I've realized that, you go back and forth and you want to be one thing, but you might not be that. And I'm kind of in that in between of this is what I want to be, but maybe I have to accept that right now it's okay if I can't be that, but I can still get up early and do something. Maybe I can't get up at 5 a.m. every morning and get to the gym every single morning and work out for an hour and get in the sauna and do everything exactly like I want to do. But what I can do is I can wake up at least 45 minutes early and get on my walking pad and go for a 30-minute walk or go for a 10-minute walk. So that's what I'm going to put on myself. And
I want to stop you there too, because I think that's really important to say. I think sometimes we do expect, if we wake up an hour early and we have these goals to go work out, we need to get all of that done. But sometimes, what got me into waking up early is just waking up, getting out of my bed, going and sitting on the couch, allowing myself to wake up. I would bring my book out there. I would have my iPad with me. And sometimes I wouldn't touch them, but it was just the act of getting out of bed, knowing that I'm waking up within the 15-20 minutes that I wake up and that I feel okay after that point. And the more that you do that, then you can start bringing in those habits that you want to do within that hour once you get that nailed down. And that's just a way to kind of break it down and break it into those easier steps.
Yeah, like those small steps that help you. I think that's pretty awesome. I think one of the things I try to do is just like you said, routine. But one of the things I try to do is wake up and wash my face.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things for me, is because once I wash my face or I feed my cats, those are the two things, washing my face or feeding my cats. Once I do one of those, I'm like, well, I'm up. I'm not going to go back to bed at this point. Sometimes I do, not going to lie. But I think just being more consistent with that. And then also another thing I'd like to work on is just being more consistent with journaling on the weekends, because I'm really good when I'm at home and I'm, I wake up and have my breakfast ready, I wash my face, and then I sit down and I journal and then I eat. I'm really good at that. But what I really want to see myself do is push that into my weekends, because I think if I can even do it on those days, I can get even further. So I'm going to challenge myself to do that. And then last thing I want to work on is just acknowledging my success in general, because I have come so far. For those of you who know me, I've been on a weight loss journey for my wedding, and I have officially lost 10 pounds. I am so proud of myself. And yeah, I feel like those are the big things that I just want to work on moving into February. And I just want to share that with you all. And I'd love to hear, Morgan, what are some things that you're working on in your February?
Well, guys, I am so excited about this, but I actually just got an Aura ring, and I told myself I would never get the gold one, but I did anyways. But no, besides the color of it all, guys, it's incredible. I honestly can't believe there's even something out there like that. One of the biggest things I wanted to focus on this year was more so going in detail into my health and knowing more of my sleep schedule and what that REM sleep looks like. More so wanted to track a lot more of kind of my cycle, my woman's cycle, understanding what that all looks like, as I want to potentially build a family in the near future, but also like the stress management and just what it tracks based on your heart rate and everything. I mean, it just goes in again to so much detail that it would be hard to really miss anything crazy going on in your body. And I think just being able to understand what's really happening is going to help me to build those better habits around myself and what my body really needs in order to function in the way that it needs to. So I'll hopefully share more about what that all looks like as we go throughout the year and just kind of fill you guys in on what I'm seeing behind the scenes. But kind of going further into that also means work-life balance for me. I've mentioned this on this podcast once before, but work-life balance is something I've been walking through in the last probably year, 2 years as I've been working full-time and picked up that second business in podcasting. It's just, I'm someone that really likes to achieve based on the to-dos and seeing those to-dos checked off. And I've noticed that I can't live life like that. My weekends and going skiing and being with friends, those are not to-dos. Those are a way to fulfill my life. And when everything really started to feel that way, it was hard for me to find fulfillment and enjoyment in anything that I did. So your girl's on a journey here. We're trying to figure that out one day at a time. But again, what I'm going to focus on going into that is just noticing the small things that do bring me joy, going back to that daily gratitude and noticing what I'm writing down and then actionizing that into my life. Realizing when I want to bury myself into work and those to-dos rather than enjoy what's really in front of me. So
yeah, I'm kind of curious. One thing I want to ask is for the Oura Ring, what made you want to get the Oura Ring? I'm just curious.
It's simply, I was waking up and I was feeling exhausted every single day. It didn't matter if I got 8 hours of sleep or 5 hours of sleep. I just felt absolutely drained. And I thought that there was a lot more going on in my sleep than I knew. So honestly, that was a big thing. But then, of course, hormones was another thing. That has been a journey of mine as well, trying to get my hormones back on track and, doing seeds and probiotics and all these different gut things. It all really does come down to stress. And I've noticed the unhealthy habits that I've carried in my life. And I knew that Oura could kind of, again, give you that behind the scenes into that all. So
love that. That's so awesome. Good for you.
So again, I'll keep you guys updated on all that. But one last thing, this kind of ties with all of it too, and kind of what Courtney said, but it's more so just being kinder to myself, giving myself grace when I do feel overstimulated or out of whack and felt like I didn't get anything done when in reality I got most of my to-dos done that day. I need to realize a little bit more what I'm truly doing in my days, and that's talking kinder to myself, bringing that to reality.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I think you're such a kind person in general. It's like hard to believe that someone like you would even be hard on yourself.
Oh my gosh, it's funny, guys. I was working, I was at my full-time job and I had one of my coworkers. He was like, Morgan, I swear, you go home, you probably rip off your clothes, you put on a big hoodie, you sit back with a beer cracked in your hand and you just are smoking cigarettes all day. I'm like, I don't necessarily do any of those, but
Love that.
No, it's funny. I do think kindness is it's a superpower. It really is.
Me too.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to the Giggle and Grow podcast and our new season. We're going to start dropping episodes every Sunday moving forward. If that changes, we'll let you know. But I appreciate you guys. We love you. Smile, spread the love, and goodbye.